Disco be back. Wasai is in the studio right here. Thanks for coming out, man, and spending some time with us here on the It's Your Perspective Talk Show, man. So what's going on, man?
Well, thank you for having me, and happy anniversary.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? Many more.
Yes.
You know.
Yes, man.
Next year we should be hearing about the Carter Christian Media Group. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, man. Sounds like a plan, you know?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So we're just having some fun tonight. Disco will be back in a few minutes, but Joanna is gone.
Oh, shucks. Yeah. Oh, shit.
Yeah. So everything's good, man. So Wasi, man, what you been doing, man? You've been watching any of our shows with Ancient?
Yeah, tuning in your shows. You know what I'm saying? I didn't catch it well with Ancient. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's getting some views, man. He's getting some views, man.
All right.
Big up to Ancient King. He was on here. That show is on YouTube. He was here like a couple weeks ago, right? Maybe like a couple weeks or so now. Huh? That's right. He was on my birthday. He came here on March 25th, which was I guess last week, right? And blessed us, man.
Yeah.
With the show, man.
Yeah, man. We had a conversation going on. I don't know if you wish to continue it. And Wasi, we are talking about like what's going on with these policemen, them, and it's like if these mothers are when are we gonna start saying enough is enough? You know what I mean? And one of my biggest thing is like economically, we need to hit them economically. That's the only way these men to feel it and understand anything. You know?
I don't know if that's gonna happen here.
Well, man, this is to deal with this thing, man. We need to, you know what I mean? We're coming from all kind of angles, and we need to find a common head, and I mean a common ground. You know what I'm saying? In order for us to come together and able to have a unified effort towards achieving anything, you know, we need to have a common ground. And with this black issue in America, you know what I'm saying? We have too many different, you know, ideas, you know, too many different points and too much facets we're trying to focus on, and it's all tied into, no matter how different they may look, it's all tied in together. And what we have to do is just find that one common ground where we could deal with this issue from. You know what I'm saying? And we just have to work on it. I have my idea where we should start from. You know what I'm saying? But you know, as far as this police thing, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, you know, as once, you know, if we can envision a civilization that does not necessitate police, you know, then we are the problem. You know what I'm saying?
So man, I have to be on a conscious level.
As black people, you know what I mean, we gotta understand that police was never there in our interests. Never. In this history of America, black folks and police, they were never there in our interests. You know, when lynching was rampant, these people used to actually pose. You know, then, you know, the police will actually go in the prisons and take out the prisoners and give them to the mobs. You know what I mean? To be lynched. You know, there's pictures of you know what I mean, of all, you know, the participants of these lynchings, and nobody was ever arrested. You know, people would take the children, you know what I mean, dress them up in the Sunday best to take them. You know what I mean, when Martin Luther King was marching, the police was not there to protect the marchers. The police was actually there to protect the crowd in case the marchers actually retaliated against the crowd.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? As far as with the Black Panthers, to me had the best approach in how to deal with this police situation. You're pulling guns on unarmed citizens, hurting unarmed citizens. Well, the citizens have a right to own guns. Well, then we're gonna have our own community policing force.
Right.
You know, and you have guns and we have guns, because the citizens had a right to have guns, and that's what is, to a certain extent, the antagonism. You know what I mean? As far as, you know, police just wantonly doing what they wanted to do in the black neighborhoods in LA. But Edgar Hoover saw that as a threat to law and order. As a matter of fact, this is, you know, I don't know how we could put any faith, you know what I mean, in this police justice political system when Edgar Hoover, who is the director of the FBI, said that justice is incidental to law and order. This is Edgar Hoover quote. This is not a paraphrase. This is a direct quote. Justice is incidental to law and order. You know what I'm saying? So as a people who facing injustice, you know what I mean, and constantly facing, you know what I'm saying, we have to become the voice of justice. You can't expect, you know what I mean, the oppressor to become the voice of justice. You cannot expect that the oppressor is going to take up the cause of justice for the oppressed. You know what I mean? And right. that's the angle we're coming from. And once we keep coming from the angle, we're going to keep on being disappointed. We're going to keep on being sitting back, and all we could do is just protest as another brother gets shot down in cold blood. And then it gets justified. You know what I'm saying? So we as a people, we need to, you know, revisit, you know, our ancestors, you know, the accomplishment of our ancestors. We need to revisit the authority and the power we had when we rose up, you know what I mean, in protest against anything. You know, apartheid was brought down. A lot of the effort was from the West. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, a lot of things that's going on in the world as far as what's happening in Africa. We are the moral compass. You know what I mean? We got to understand who we are as black people in the West. We are the moral compass in the world. And when we lose our moral compass, the whole world loses its moral compass. You know what I mean? That's the real, that's the truth. You know what I'm saying? So
it's sounding to me that it needs to go forward to the spirituality being to how we was, how we were, what we are accustomed to then. Like, so we come off of that, we come off from living in that life and come down to start to live and partake of the nonsense too that's taking part and creation.
Well, you know, we in America, you know what I mean, like I say, is a very intelligent beast, you know what I'm saying? You know, it has ways of pacifying you, you know what I'm saying? It have ways of, you know what I mean, of distracting you, if you know what I mean, if you're not being focused on, you know, on what, you know, and what you have to do, because there's so much things, you know what I mean, to offer you as far as luxuries, as far as, you know, there's always the hope that, you know, you could get a piece of this pie, you know what I mean, by whatever means, you know what I'm saying? So it's easy to get to get distracted if you don't really have no concern for your own, because what's happening right now could happen to any of us. The last two victims was 50 and 49.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It could be any of us.
Exactly.
And a lot of us have children who are what? From teenagers up to in the 20s,
30s.
That could
exactly.
be any of our children. It could be any of our nephews, our nieces. It could be it could be, if it happened to Kimber's son, that's like happened to my nephew. You know, that's you know
right.
what I mean? If it happened to one of your sons, that's like happened to, you know what I mean, to one of mine. So, you know what I mean?
We're not far from it. It's any given day.
It could be any given day. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, with the policies even here, you know, in St. Croix may seem like we're far removed from it. The attitude, the police attitude is here. The only thing that's saving us is that we're in a small knit community where the repercussions, you know what I mean, and the indignation gonna be
very severe.
Yes. It's not only severe, you know what I mean. You don't really have much isolation from it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean.
Right.
You're the perpetrator.
Right.
But what I heard the governor was talking about, you know what I'm saying, that is, you know, have concern for me is about bringing police officers from New York to start patrolling here. You know, what we're doing is importing that same disease here now for people who don't, you know, they don't have no contact with nobody here. If anything goes wrong, they just jump on the plane and they go back and it's done. You know what I mean? And the attitude is now planted here. That seed is already planted here. Now weed will now just start to grow here because the repercussions is going to justify their, you know what I'm saying, their answer to our indignation about, you know what I'm having to deal with such a thing, you know what I'm saying, because it's a small community, because anybody who gets shut down, everybody gonna know, you know what I mean, gonna even know somebody, or it's gonna touch everybody here.
Well, but and to address that subject that you just touched on, was is that our crimes that severe here in the territory that we have to we are importing police, that we can't use the police officers that are here to do their job that they were quote unquote say that they signed up to do, you know.
Yeah, in my book.
Did you guys know that Mapp was a police officer?
Yes.
Well,
I didn't know that till the other
A
day.
New York City police officer.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know
Yes.
that.
And New York City police is one of the first to militarize, you know what I'm saying? They're the
Yes.
first to incorporate certain
Certain
surveillance techniques,
rules,
you know,
yep,
you
yep.
know what I mean? That is very, you know what I mean?
Stop because black, right? And because
Yeah.
you're black, there's literally no New York is who did this, you know?
You know that you know what I mean, that tramples on a lot of our rights. You know what I'm saying? Right now we're looking to import officers from there. You know what I'm saying? So like what I'm really trying to get at is, you know, we're gonna get there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the process. I'm optimistic that we're gonna get there. I don't know the process. I don't know how much people have to be sacrificed, how much people have to be lost. Because really and truly, you can say all you want to say. No, you know, people. You know what I mean? While we talking about this right now, people is, you know, wondering, you know, what the next, you know, episode of Empire. You know what I mean? How that gonna play out? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know, so you know, it ain't. You know, it has to touch home. In America, it has to touch home. You know what I mean? Everywhere else in the world has been, you know what I mean, experiencing, you know, these, you know, what we so-called acts of terrorism, you know what I'm saying, disenfranchisement, you know what I'm saying, and all these, you know, societal breakdowns. I've been experiencing it for a while. It's new to America. And I guess we ain't gonna, you know, be able to, you know.
I don't know if you guys are aware, too, that the lady that President Obama nominated to be the main attorney general,
Yeah.
you know, she gets a lot of pushback. She hasn't been nominated yet, and he nominated her like several months ago. But you know, there's a lot of pushback. I don't know. Maybe they feel like if they put her in there, she's gonna, you know, because she's really the one that has the power to like control that. You know, she should put out the order saying, you know, stop being so damn wicked, and it'll stop. You know.
Nah.
She-
Well,
she-
what we,
Go ahead.
this is only by my estimation. I mean, by my observation. You know what I mean? There's two ball and chains that's weighing down, you know what I mean, humanity right now, and it goes by the name of police and politics. You know what I'm saying? That is two things I realize that as intellectual beings, as human beings, you know what I'm saying, as civilized beings, these is two. I find to be obstacles. You know that you know, to religion also. You know what I'm saying, that you know that there's an obstacle towards human. You know what I mean, progress. You know what I mean, you know, human progression or ability. You know what I mean, to deal with these affairs, because these are things that you know, I mean, that we face, and things that's solvable. But what makes it not solvable is because we have this thing called politics. You know what I'm saying, where you know ideas, people is, you know what I mean, is classified according to, oh, you know what I mean, the idea, well, you got to be leftist, or you got to be, you know what I mean, conservative, you know what I mean, ideas
Liberal.
are not based, liberal, ideas
this
are not
and
based
that.
on the feasibility of, you know what I mean, if it's feasible towards uplifting humanity and easing suffering of, you know what I mean, of the masses, you know what I mean, it's based on, you know, again, you know, Greek thought, you know what I mean, and you know what I mean, Greek, you know what I mean, what, you know, this Greek idea, and you know what really irks me is we talking about, you know, in the year 2015, we're still implementing ideas from people that was way back in BC.
BC,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? Foreign, you know what I mean? Foreign
Exactly.
ideas from foreign people from a foreign time. You know what I'm saying? And I guess, like I said, you know what I mean, we have to experience, you know, probably have to experience this pain for us to cry out. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm like, we lost our human empathy. You know what I mean? Back in the days, you know, like, you know, as you know, if it happened to you, you know what I mean, I felt
feel
too,
it,
you know
yes,
what I'm saying, and I
yes.
cried out too. You know what I mean? Now it's like, you know, like I said, you know, I'm feeling home. You know what I mean? We see it, and you know, sometimes, you know, kind of where we at. You know, we crowd because it makes us seem like, you know, we're sympathetic. It makes us seem humane. But really and truly, nobody really cares. You know what I mean? If anybody really cares, you know what I mean, after Trayvon Martin, you know what I mean, there would not be no Michael Brown, there would not be no Eric Garner, there would not be, you know what I mean, a homeless man in LA, there would not be this, you know what I mean, it's Saturday Night, and all the others that don't make the news. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we all have to bear this common blight, you know what I mean, of not caring, you know, because a lot of us, you know, we don't care. You know,
Right.
we don't care. We're sitting here, you know, our belly full, you know, our fridge got food, you know, things are with us, you know what I mean, hey, you know what I mean, it happened, hey, you know what I mean, and so life goes on, you know, well, this dysfunctional thing we call life goes on. you know. And like I said, you know, unless we're waiting for justice from an unjust system, you know. We're waiting for justice from the oppressor, you know what I mean? And people got to realize justice only comes from the people who are oppressed. You know what I mean? You can't expect justice from the oppressor.
That's right.
I don't know how you know what I mean, how you could, you know what I mean?
See that.
Yeah, could see that, you know what I mean?
And then again, too, because they have to identify with who is who and what is what.
Exactly.
And that's the whole thing, too, that, you know what I mean, they're whole blinded. You know, as my poem usually say, you are asleep. Most of the people them are just walking. They're walking with the eyes wide out, open, but they ain't seeing nothing. You know, they have eyes, but they ain't seeing, they ain't hearing, they ain't, you know, and they ain't talking.
You know, I'm not going to jump on that bandwagon. You know, we're quick to jump on a bandwagon of, you know, I mean, of disrespecting our race, you know what I mean, and finding nothing but the negative things to say. And I think that's another thing that's eating away at us, you know what I mean. We have this parasitic view of our being, of our experience here in the West, you know what I mean, of our being, of our, you know what I mean, of how we interact, you know what I mean, you know, and we need to start bringing to light our qualities,
right.
You know what I mean, and what's really, you know what I mean, you can sit down anywhere and you can hear every white black people in this, white black people in that, white black people in this, you know what I mean, and when you look at it, it's only the perception that we give ourselves that we see, you know what I mean, and the perception is not reality. You know, if you're supposed to look at what we actually did here in the West, you know, I mean, our contribution, you know, I mean, the perception does not relate. You know what I'm saying? What the perception relate to is this parasitic view that we have about each other. You know, and based on a slave you know, that slave story, that slave mentality. You know what I'm saying? Until we could rid ourselves at that miserable state of being called slavery and that parasitic view that it brings about. You know what I mean? We're gonna always, you know, we're gonna sit here nonchalant, you know what I mean? We're gonna be sitting here, you know what I mean, just, you know what I mean, like, hey, whatever, waiting for somebody to come and do it for us. And like I said, you know what I mean, justice is empowerment. You know what I mean? When you cry out for justice, that's, you know what I mean, that's crying out for you know what I mean, for power. You know what I'm saying? And it's the only way that the oppressor gonna come from under the heel of the oppressor is to seek justice, not from the oppressor, but justice from right. You know what I mean? Because it's your right as the oppressed to stand up and cry out for justice and find the means of justice and necessitate the means of justice. You know what I'm saying? And it's, you know, it's only going to be done when we start coming together and start looking at this thing, like I said, from a contracted view. You know what I mean? Not from this disparate, you know what I mean, this group, that group. And that's the next thing that America, you know what I mean, is you know, one of the genius of it is it's not a civilization, it's a conglomeration of societies. So once, you know what I mean, you know, everybody's separate, you know what I mean, everybody's only looking out for their own interest, you know what I mean, and their own interest is tantamount to, you know what I mean, to what they think is a whole, you know what I mean, and what's so the problems that the whole is facing is never really addressed because it's disparate little groups just trying to, you know, fight for whatever their little, you know what I mean, piece of the cake or crumbs or whatever, you know what I mean, they're fighting for, you know.
So what do you see one of our common grounds could be and that we could stand and to go forward as a people?
Education. With this thing with Kenya, you know what I mean, this thing with, in Boko Haram, you know, in Nigeria,
right.
You know what I mean, these things are going on in Africa, you know what I mean. The prevailing attitude right now is weapons, war, you know what I mean, let's go in, you know what I mean, and what's that gonna solve? You know what I mean, really and truly, you're gonna kill everybody who you know what I mean, who you think is a terrorist, you know what I mean, everybody
I don't agree with you.
You know, who don't agree with you know what I mean, you know, so what we need to do is, like I said, we have to address this, you know what I mean, we have to open a dialogue. These people actually are fighting for something, they have a grievance or something, you know what I mean, we need to open a dialogue, you know what I'm saying, as, you know, they have weapons, you know what I mean, and somebody supplying them with the weapons. So, you know, if it's a war, if the solution you think is going to be war, then we're only passing, we're only leaving, you know what I mean, the legacy of, you know what I mean, a suffering. We leave that to our posterity, you know what I mean, to the children to come, you know what I'm saying, and like I said, it's only education, you know what I'm saying, you know, Nigeria, who has, you know what I mean, boasting all this oil wealth, you know what I'm saying, need to start taking this money instead of this resource, and instead of trying to play itself out in society as a member of the elite, the G8 and all that kind of stuff, you need to remove itself from the stipulations that it has to enact in order to be a part of the G8 and start now funding, you know what I mean, start putting these resources into Africa into Nigeria, because these people have grievances, you know what I mean, and you know what I mean, if you can just take up a gun and go and kill innocent people, you know what I mean, you can't be too educated, bro. You know what I'm saying? You can't really have much, you know what I mean, you know, experience with, you know, with education and, you know what I mean, and compassion, you know, and the character, you know what I mean, that and the intellect that differentiates us from animals, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we need to, like I said, we need to, you know, address this thing from our, you know, from our point of view, you know what I mean, and not be caught up into this, you know what I mean, this ongoing war after war, and thinking that retaliation and revenge and, you know what I mean, is the answer, you know what I mean. This is Africa we're talking about.
Yeah, let me, Disco, you wanna say anything, man, or you good? Just, you know, we just 9:05, you know. You wanna say some more stuff real quick, or you? He good? Okay. Huh? All right. So Wasi, man, everything blessed?
Well, man, it can't be blessed right now, but when we listen to brothers getting shut down, you know what I mean, when we're witnessing, you know, when we're realizing that, you know, the life that we live in right now, you know what I mean, our brothers and sisters are forced to live here in the West, you know what I mean, because of the dismantling of our culture, you know what I mean, and the laxity that we have adopted from being here in the West. You know what really is hilarious to me is, like, you know, when we hear all these people that they used to march with Martin Luther King, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we don't have no reason to march no more. We don't have no reason to protest no more. You know what I'm saying? You know, when Martin Luther King got, you know, lost his life, Malcolm X and these, you know, nobody followed up. Nobody kept up. You know what I mean? Everybody just ran to the side. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoa, not me. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. You know what I'm so.
I guess they felt that they reached to the pinnacle where they think that it was to reach, and that was it, and they felt satisfied.
You know, and I can't say how you could adapt the attitude when, you know what I mean, the very things that Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, you know what I mean, Marcus Garvey, all these, you know what I mean, these leaders, you know what I mean, were standing up for. We're living them right now. You know,
Yes.
we live in the very things that they were fighting for in the 60s, in the 2015.
I
We're now suffering.
Well, see,
you know what I
I
mean?
said the same thing today.
You know?
I said that same exact thing today. It's 50 years today. It's 50 years ago, but we live in the same exact thing while we're going on.
You know what I'm saying? And blatantly, you know what I mean? And blatant, you know what I mean?
Straight in front of your
you know,
face.
Yeah, you know. Blatant acts, you know what I mean, of you know what I mean, of
injustice.
Of injustice, you know what I mean, you know, right there in our face, you know, and video, and then, you know.
And to me, the next thing again was heart taking is that you have a black president within the White House and a black attorney general, and nobody has addressed the issues to say, well, you know, what's going on? Is it, you know, just something? I don't know. You know.
Well, you know, again, you know, once we, you know what I mean, we continue to, you know, give these people, you know what I mean, any sense of semblance of relevance, you know what I'm saying? And you know, it's like you look into the wolf, you know what I mean, for solutions, you know what I mean, to why, you know what I mean, you're getting picked off by the wolves, you know what I'm saying? You're going to the wolf, you know what I mean, to ask for, you know what I mean, for a solution to why you're being attacked by wolves, you know what I'm saying? And we got to realize that, you know, these system, you know what I mean, in our everyday life doesn't really have much significance as far as progression, as far as help, as far as upliftment, you know what I mean, is the source of our stress, is the very source of the, I mean, of you know what I mean, of you know what I mean, of our suffering, you know what I mean, or, you know, our disenfranchisement or disenlightenment, you know what I mean, it's very source, and this is the very people, this is the very sources that we turn to and expect help from, you know what I mean, so, you know, we're going to continue into this cycle, you know, once we start realizing that, you know what I mean, we need to start looking towards, you know, what our ancient, you know what I mean, motto is, it takes a village. As
Marcus used to say, Africa for the Africans, abroad, a home and abroad.
You know, and then, you know, we got to realize too, you know, like I said, if Africa is, you know what I mean, for Africans, those at home and abroad, then the Africans at home, abroad, you know what I mean, where they're at is Africa also, because we're not talking about just, you know, we gotta understand that what we're dealing with is, you know, when we talk about Africa, we're not talking about just, you know what I mean, a place. We're not just talking about time. We're not just, you know, we're talking about a character. you know what I mean, that this country, you know what I mean, gave to the world, you know what I mean, as far as civilization, as far as civil governance, you know what I mean, as far as civil behavior, civil discourse, civil exchange, you know what I'm saying? That's what Africa presented to the world. And once we, as His Majesty said, when African righteous people come together, then the world will come together. You know what I mean? Until we realize our significance and start, you know what I mean, exemplifying that's the power of that significance, you know what I mean, and we're going to always be here, you know what I mean, in servitude, looking towards the oppressor for ease from oppression.
And is educating back to oneself through our great contributions that we have done through this earth here, you know, and continue to uplift ourselves as a people.
Well, that's, you know, that's again, like I said, that's, you know, we touch right on the, you know what I mean, on the real, to me, the real crux of the problem is we allowed someone to define and value our experience here in the West, you know, and so what should be hailed as the greatest, you know what I mean, achievement and contribution towards the human experience, human intellectuality, human compassion, human sympathy, human, you know what I mean, civil, you know what I mean, behavior amongst each other. Instead, it's trampled under the dust. It's trampling into the ground. You know what I mean? Our contribution, you know what I mean, we're told we're slaves. You know what I'm saying? And if we're supposed to really assess the situation fully, if America was built by white folks, by Europeans, even under the same oppression, you wouldn't have a slave story in the American experience. You know what I'm saying? You'll have a, you know what I mean, to the contrary, you'll have a story that, you know what I mean, of how great white, you know what I mean, the great character of white, you know what I mean, white folks, you know what I mean, and you know what I mean, the proof of, you know what I mean, of Caucasian, you know what I mean, character and you know, and white, you know, good, you know, the whiteness, you know what I mean, the good of the white, you know what I mean, of white folks. You wouldn't have a slave story,
right?
In I mean, a short, you know what I mean, but we accept the story, because, you know what I mean, and never really, you know what I mean, give it a full study, you know what I mean, thought as to how it, you know what I mean, how it actually affects us. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean, we run with it because, you know what I mean, it fits a certain purpose, you know what I mean, that we feel, and you know what I mean, up front, but deep down in the soul, you know what I mean, it's very destructive. You know what I'm saying? If, you know what I mean, to me, I lay the blame of experience of the misview that we have of ourselves here solely at the feet of that slave story. You know what I'm saying? So we as people, you know what I mean, as a people, need to address or readdress our experience in a manner that's going to benefit our youths and our you know, our posterity.
Re-educate them.
Exactly.
And to me, Marcus set one of the blueprints for us already. That he laid it out, and what was so inspiring for me from Marcus is that Marcus did his contribution under the conditions that was taking place within where he was at, within America. At that time, within the 18,
19, 20, 19, 20, yeah.
30, 40, there was lynching and murdering Africans, black and white, within America, but yet still he did not let that allow him to stop him. He made sure that he pushed on and went through and went through the whole cycle. It was over 3 million Africans he had in the UNIA as members from all over the world, not in America only, but worldwide. So now today, when we have social media and all these other objects, aspects, instruments in front of our hand, that we're supposed to be enhancing them to use them to benefit us, we're using it again.
Well, you know, we have to go through this.
As you say, you gotta go through the discourse.
Yeah, we have to go through this. You know what I mean? On our way down, you know what I mean, it's the same thing you're going to pass when you're going on your way up.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, like I say, you know, we just have to have faith, you know what I mean, optimism, and not get caught up into the, you know what I mean, the destructive mindset that they want us to have. Because when you have a destructive mindset and become pessimistic, you know what I'm saying, you become, you know, you actually give up hope. You know what I mean? You give up faith, you know what I mean, in overcoming, you know what I mean? You become like, you know, like David's brothers on the battlefield, you know what I mean? They was like, shoot, who's going over here to face Goliath? You know what I'm saying? You crazy? You know what I'm saying? And what we need is, you know what I mean, you know, what we don't need, they are there. You know what I mean? In the due time, when it's right, you know what I mean? We're going to see who going to rise to the forefront. You know what I'm saying? But right now, we need to realize that the path that we took is the wrong path.
Right.
You know what I mean? It seems like we didn't want to hear from our elders, so we, who don't hear us feel. So we have to experience it. When we experience it, it's going to be erased from the human, the human experience, you know what I'm saying? And, we're going to go on to, to better things. But for right now, we went down a path that we have to deal with. You know what I mean? We allowed ourselves to be taking on a path that we have to deal with it. We have to. Because they're making it evident, we have no choice, you know what I'm saying? Because, if those shootings, what we see, if you're really supposed to, supposed to investigate, there's a whole lot more.
Right.
And, and we need to look at the circumstances, hey, there's a war on, you know what I'm saying? And,
and blatantly right in front of you, a blind man could see it right now.
Yeah, and black culture, because, our culture, is totally against everything that the West, how the West is designed, you know what I mean?
Right.
Our culture, is the wealth, the wealth is shared within all, this culture, you know what I'm saying? The wealth is shared between, whoever is the greediest, the most ruthless, you know what I'm saying? The most vicious and bloodthirsty, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, we need to prepare ourselves, you know what I'm saying, and for a system that, that's of our design that serves us, because, it's not to turn towards democracy, socialism, communism, and all these other things. It's for us to design a system that, that's unique to our experience, you know what I mean, that's going to best uplift us, because we got to understand that whatever affects black folks, you know what I mean, in a positive light, affects the world in a positive light. Whatever affects black folks in a negative view, you know what I mean, it seems that, they try to make you feel like it's isolated within us, but, the whole world feels it, you know what I'm saying, and, if you don't if you think I'm lying, you know what I mean, look, the same distress that we're under, the whole world is facing it, you know what I'm saying, when you look at it, sit back and look at the whole picture, you know what I'm saying, the same distress they're placing us under in America, the whole world is feeling that pain, you know what I'm saying, so we got to come to realize the reality of who we are and the purpose that we serve in this creation. We're the caretakers.
Yes.
That does not, you know what I mean, denigrate, you know what I mean, deny anybody else, you know what I mean, or lessen anybody else, but this is how it is. We are the caretakers, you know what I mean? That's how it is.
That's it?
It's up to you.
What do you think, Soup?
You could go.
Go?
Yeah. Let the fire blaze, Rasta.
Fire blaze. Let's take a break.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back. All right. We are back. This is the HL Perspective Talk Show every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. until, man. Tonight is our anniversary night here.
Yes, sir.
We did 1 year today. Just have had some people here earlier.
Give thanks to the Most High, Kidamawa in Price last year, the first to making all this possible, you know, Kimba?
Yes, for sure, man.
Yes,
That's the
sir.
only way that this is possible for us to just do this, have fun with it. We met a lot of people come through here. Ironically, in a sense, in a way, it's kind of funny and strange in a sense. Miss St. Croix won the 2 tickets tonight. She was here last night, and as I've been saying, I mentioned the answer to the question one time, just in passing conversation. She was able to remember what it was, and she won the tickets. You know, I just think it's somewhat, it's what it is, you know?
Yes, sir.
And that's how it goes. Best of luck. Have a good time at the Taste of St. Croix. Coming up here, I guess it's next week Thursday, man. So Wasi's still in the house, man.
Well, congratulations, because if I won them, I'd have sold them.
They made a little profit, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, that's like the real hustler gangster move right there, you know?
I don't know, gangster. Make a little money.
You know? I hear you,
Fill a
man.
hole somewhere, you know?
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yes, sir.
So everything good, man?
Yeah, you know, hey, you know, if it ain't good, you gotta make it good.
Make it good, right?
That's
Well,
it.
tonight is a good night for me, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
You
just
know,
been
it's
blazing
a
it
year,
up.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, just keep pushing, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, this is a format, you know what I'm saying, that, you know what I mean, it's groundbreaking, you know what I mean, it's you know what I mean, it's
Yeah.
genius, you know what I'm saying? And,
Yeah.
you know, time, you know what I mean, the time, you know, put in, you know what I mean, the effort, you know what I mean, and determine, you know what I mean?
How far it goes, yeah,
Yep,
man.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, it's already successful, you know what I mean? It's a successful idea.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, for sure.
you know
Thank
what
And
you,
it's
man.
in working,
now
too.
it's a successful, you know, working reality,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean, it's only, you know what I mean, it's just to make it grow. You know what I'm saying? And that's a natural progression of life. So, you know, once you just stick with it, you know what I'm saying, and you know, and just, you know, even the, you know, the down times, you know what I mean, it's gonna grow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's-
man.
That's life.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Progress.
Yeah, man. So we're having this conversation about us as a nation. You know what I mean? It's just time for us to start going a whole different light, a whole different mindset, whole different way of doing things now, because we see what we've been doing for 400 years ain't working.
We're a nation unrealized, yeah, but we can't say it ain't working, because they're built one of the greatest nations
Right?
in the
Exactly.
world.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't
Exactly.
working. What ain't working is their perception. You know,
Their
it ain't
perception.
working for us. You know,
For
what I mean, it
us.
ain't really working for them neither, because you know, I mean, their system in a state of collapse, in a state of disarray. So it ain't really
That's right.
working for them either. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
right.
It's just that, you know, what I mean, it's where the attention is focused. You know what I mean, and the perception that they want, you know, the masses to have. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And what we go along with. You know what I'm saying? But really and truly, man, like I said, you know, in all, you know what I mean, is, you know, once you take care of, you know, what you have to do every day, you know, put your best into it, you know what I'm saying, and you know what I mean, and you know, I always exemplify determination, you know what I mean, will, you know what I mean, and
Yes.
you know, that does more than we could even realize, because we only accustomed to, you know what I mean, to judging things by what we could see, you know what I mean, and what we could feel immediately, you know what I mean, and you know, and sometimes, man, just you know, going about your business, you know what I mean, being consistent, you know what I mean, being driven, you know what I mean, you don't know that there's somebody on the side watching you, you know what I mean, and you know what I mean, looking at how you're going about things, and that's the design that they use to actually arise and actually, you know what I mean, and motivate somebody else.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
yes.
So, you know, you know what I mean, it's like the domino effect. Instead of knocking things down in the reverse, you know what I mean, while you raising up your own being, you actually out there, you know what I mean, setting the path and the pattern and the way, you know what I mean, for somebody else to arise also, you know what I mean, because that's how we is as human beings. As might say, you know what I mean, that, you know what I mean, you know, we connected to the universe, God, and each other. That's spirituality, you know what I
Right.
mean, it joins us, you know what I mean, to each other, you know what I mean, God, you know, when you put it into true significance, you know what I mean, then we start realizing that, you know, it's our liberty, you know, it's our liberty, it's our culture, you know what I mean, that is actually going to be the salvation of the world, you know what I'm saying, until we can start thinking as a village, you know what I'm saying, then there's always going to be war. Until we start thinking as a village, there's always going to be poverty. As soon as we start thinking about a village, you know, starting acting the village, you know what I mean, there's always going to be selfishness, greed, you know what I mean, and all these, you know what I mean, these things that's, you know what I mean, that that harms the human experience, you know what I mean? That,
Right.
Because, we got, help the human experience, you know what I'm saying? So, is when we realize, and put it to our own perspective, our own, culture, our being, and who we are. Not sitting on waiting for somebody else to come and realize and say, hey, y'all are actually good Negroes, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So that's what we're waiting for, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, you know what I mean? We are people, man, that under the circumstances, you know what I mean? Other nations, other races has been extinct, you know what I mean? Has been, been nullified, you know what I mean? Voided, you know what I'm saying? But we still here. Under the circumstances, we still here, bro.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We still here, we still significant, you know what I mean? Still, we you know what I mean? We as much as they like to claim, you know what I mean, with, the hate and the downtrodden, you know what I mean?
You stand the test of time.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We still relevant, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's our issues that determine the relevance of the world. You know what I mean? And how things are going to go. You know what I'm saying? So, until we come to the realization and stop. You know what I mean? Stop being distracted by what they, their topics and issues is. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna realize that we are a blessed people, bro. You know what I'm saying? We need to stop calling down each other. We need to start finding. You know what I mean? The
commonality,
the contributions, you know what I mean, the skill, the gene, the ingenuity, you know what I'm saying, the sacrifice that we made, you know what I'm saying, to make this world. Okay, it wasn't only when America, we saved the whole world, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Non-partial.
There's a whole world, because there's a whole of Europe that came and found refuge, you know what I mean, in America. You know what I'm saying? And so every other race and nationality that came, you know what I mean, to America for, you know what I mean, for a better life, you know what I mean, that was all our sweat and blood and tears, you know what I mean, that cannot be denied. So, why should we, who gave so much, take the least, at least, you know what I mean, allow ourselves to take the least, you know what I'm saying? I don't really blame the white, I don't blame nobody, you know what I'm saying, for anything, you know what I'm saying, I look towards our upliftment. I look towards our realization. You know what I'm saying? I don't really look towards, what nobody can. When we arise, all that stuff dies immediately. You know what I'm saying? No more police shooting, you know what I mean? And we're going to realize our power, you know what I'm saying? We stop guns, we stop, bruh, we have no idea. You know what I'm saying? But it's soon come. Therefore, like Marcus Garvey said, we ain't going to know ourselves until we're back against the wall. You know what I mean? And what we got to realize that when we're back against the wall, they expect our motion from there is towards them, you know what I mean? But if you're back against the wall, forward is not where you're facing, and that's where you came from. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna turn around, we're gonna blow around the wall, bro.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like the doors of Jericho, you know what I mean? We're gonna turn around, we're gonna blow around the walls, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And we're gonna blow around all, you know what I mean, all ceilings, all plateaus, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We're gonna show, you know what I mean? That's when, man gonna really realize his universal being, not just his earthly being, but his universal being is when we, you know what I'm saying, raise our voice, because, against oppression. Is when, that's when we the oppressed, you know what I'm saying, rise up and destroy oppression. Is when man gonna really realize his true cause and his true purpose, you know what I mean, in his God creation, you know what I mean. So, like I said, these are the things that, they always use it. They use it passion, you know what I mean, to always come at us, you know what I mean. I gonna always, I gonna always address this police issue, because it's one of my pet peeves, you know what I mean. I don't feel like I have to live in a society, you know what I mean, where I have to be, you know what I mean, degraded by some, by anybody, and you know what I mean, organization, or you know what I mean. I don't think no human being is supposed to feel like, because you're in, you know what I mean, in you know what I mean, immediate, you know what I mean, you have to deal with, you know what I mean, with another human being, that you're supposed to take a position of fear, of submission. I don't believe that, you know what I mean. I don't believe, you know what I mean, that because I don't, you know what I mean, we're not submissive to one another means we're aggressive to one another. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to take no position of submission. I'm not going to promote that, you know what I mean, and, I don't care any race, you know what I'm saying? So the whole idea of how policing, you know what I mean, reality of who it is, you know what I mean, especially as a black person, you cannot take no time in history as black people in America where police has been there for our cause, for our cause. No time in history, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, call me out. You know, the show got the number right there. You know what I'm saying?
340-201-9005.
There's
Man,
no time police. So we as a people have to realize that, you know what I mean, the new, you know, creation, you know what I mean, is right there in our hands. You know what I'm saying? It's we, you know, we the ones who are gonna have to realize a civilization where there's no oppression, there's no war, there's no class, you know, no, you know what I mean, you know, no classification based on, you know, social orders, you know what I mean, a social, you know what I mean, no other stuff, you know what I mean, is, you know, cause we're the victim of that. So is we gonna have to rise up, you know what I mean, and create something that nullifies all that and makes that void, you know what I mean, and no longer existent in the human experience, because we already laid the blueprint. Our ancestors already laid the blueprint for that. You know what I'm saying? You know, because under the harshest circumstances, our character is what arose to make this country. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? A civilization is under the most brutal conditions. You know, we show that the human character can arise and will succeed and progress and will grow and flourish under the most brutal circumstances. Nothing could overcome the human character. You know what I'm saying? And so you don't need to create a think tank, wait for nobody to come, you know what I mean, to you know, it's already there.
It's already there.
Ancestors, you know what I mean?
Implemented. You just got implemented. Yeah, put that implementation in place.
You know, I'm not gonna, you know, like I say, leave it up to me. Like I said, these are, you know, things that, you know, I really like, you know, this is the sports I like to touch on, you know what I'm saying, because, you know, it's so easy to be distracted by other things that really,
easy,
that really don't concern us, you know what I'm saying, and I think we really need to come to, you know what I mean, to, you know, we need to address these things, you know what I mean, you know, and, you know, if your voice don't be an alarm, then, you know, raise the alarm for somebody to wake up.
Wake up,
you know what I mean? You probably need the masses, you know what I'm saying, so you just need to wake up one, you know what I'm saying, who's going to trickle along and eventually wake, because it's nice to say, you know, that, you know, every journey start with the first step. You know what I mean? The journey of 1,000 miles start with the first step. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, let's take that first step. Then the second step must follow. Yep. You know.
And for the longest journey, it always begins with our first step, you know?
Learn to love one another. You know what I'm saying? You know, learn to, you know what I mean? When it's to learn to love one another, it don't mean, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, you gotta eventually grow angel wings and have a halo over your head. You know what I'm saying? When I say learn to love one another, exactly that. Learn to put aside, you know, differences. You learn to overcome, you know what I mean, the very thing that make you angry, learn to overcome it. You know what I'm saying?
And you know, as you touch on that word anger, because I was telling our sister up to today, I said, why waste your anger? Because now, I said, why get angry? Because it becomes wasted energy. So you have to flip that around and put it towards the most positive thing that you could do with that.
Especially because when you're angry, you know what I mean, where's the anger going to be felt? In your own community.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You know, like you have the power, you know what I mean, to, you know what I mean, to express the anger out in, you know what I mean, in the society and the community that just causes the anger, causing you to feel that way, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean, like I said, we need to find ways to, you know what I mean, to dispose these things, you know, not find ways to carry them on, to pass them on, you know what I'm saying, to send them around one more time. We need to find ways, you know what I mean, to you know what I mean, to just void, you know what I mean, and make these things irrelevant, you know what I mean, and, you know, it's starting the person, you know, because we all have that, you know what I mean, that person that, you know what I mean, that test, you know what I mean, that moment, that person, that situation, you know what I mean, that we could use, you know what I mean, as testing grounds, you know, okay, all right, you know what I mean, this situation, you know what I mean, anger would have been, you know what I mean, you know, and cursing or whatever, passion, you know what I mean, whatever, you know what I mean, would have been the likely answer. But you know what, let me try peace, let me try serenity, let me try love, let me try quiet, you know, let me just be silent, you know what I mean, and let this thing play out, be still, you know, let this thing play out, you know, instead of just, you know, reacting with a response that, you know what I mean, that really you wouldn't even like to be responding to in that manner, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, instead of always pointing fingers, that's how we're going to always do, is pointing fingers if that's how we think we should do. What we need to do is start finding ways to, you know what I mean, to, you know what I mean, to void, you know what I mean, these very actions that causing us pain. The very thing that you cause, instead of sending it around, you know what I mean, when it comes to you, squash it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yes. Yeah. Throw it in the in the trash bin of irrelevance, you know what I'm saying? Instead of sending it back around, you know what I mean? Peace and love, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what you want to be? Then hey, be that. Still got love for you. Right. You know what I'm saying?
And you gotta go to a higher. You have to go to a higher being than yourself, a higher realm, spiritual realm. Yeah.
We think we skin and we laugh and we smile. You know what I mean? That makes you like. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have to smile and skin with you to love you. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? You know what I mean? I don't have to skin and laugh with you. Or, you know what I mean? I have a conversation with you. You know what I mean? To see you in a situation and have the ability to help you. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? To help you. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to. We don't need to have to be friends. This is. We pick up ideas and and ideas from and training from other people's culture. We need to start. You know what I mean?
Look back home.
Yeah, looking. Into how these things affect us. You know what I'm saying? And and start looking. Start realizing. Okay, we throw that off. What gonna fill the void? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, African culture is world culture.
World culture.
That's where it all came from.
Non-partial.
And what else there is? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Race is only There's
only one race of man on earth, Rasta. There's only one race of man. Straight.
Race is just an adaptation to environment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's only one man. There's only one man. Yeah. So, one man on earth, so that's it.
Once we keep up with this, prolonging this back and forth, we're gonna realize that there's a real picture. You know what I'm saying? That heaven is right there.
Right there.
Right there, bro. Right there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right there. Just think it, live it, be it. You know what I'm saying?
Rastafari lives,
Yes,
sure,
sir.
man.
Yeah, man.
Well, sorry, thanks for blessing us up tonight, man.
Thanks, to y'all for having, a show like this, where you could give a voice, I like to see more people. Maybe a lot of people don't really realize that, that, they have this medium. Sometimes people don't even think that they're relevant, you know what I'm saying, to approach this medium, you know what I'm saying? That's why we need to keep on, just putting it out there, because, eventually somebody gonna, to have me sitting here, in front of a camera, as much as I feel like I love to talk within my own mind, in my own little imagination, I'm the great orator, you know what I'm saying? Really, you couldn't really get me to just sit here, in the, back in the day. That was beyond,
Yes.
Crazy.
Yes. None of us, I don't think.
You know what I'm saying? So
none of us.
We have a medium here.
Yeah.
Yes. Sometimes you might, if you feel it inside, come here, and share it. You know what I'm saying?
And that's how we always do. We always reaching out. Anybody, the number is 340-201-9005. Just come on in, give us a call, a text, and we respond back. And
that's how it goes, man. We'll put you on the schedule, and just come in and talk about what you're doing.
Yeah.
This is one of the this is probably the only of the few of black-owned media groups. There's none on television. You know what I'm saying? There's none on television.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's a seed. You know what I'm saying? And some seeds pop like that. And sprout. And sometimes some seeds, take a little time to come out the ground. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So.
But what they always say, well, exactly, you took the word right out of That's the farmer always say. We just have to keep watering. Every morning we get keep watering our plant.
Got days when, you might not have, guests and be the guest, Be relevant, you know what I'm saying?
Sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Because again, ways, you know what I'm saying?
And it goes out to the world. And not here in St. Croix, here in the VI alone. The world sees it. We had calls from South Korea, Italy, Harlem, Miami,
everywhere, man.
California.
And I think, probably, we need to reach out and let the people know that where they're calling from, that they could be, a guest on the show from where they're from.
Yes.
Could be remote, could be a remote guest also.
We said that too, any which way.
Any which way it works, man. It works. It works.
We've done it several times already.
Yeah, this is all proven.
Yeah. Like I said, there's a lot of, there's a lot of forums out here, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's, where I got a lot of my information from these police brutality, a lot of issues that affected black folks, there's Why You Mad, Son. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And, I think, you start in, a conversation with these groups and stuff, you have an outlet where they, that will save them having to, invest in that outlet. You already have outlets. So it's just, the
making
race.
The links.
The race, is very rich, but,
we just have to connect. We just have to
it's just separated because we live in in a foreign alien, in an alien way that we
thinking.
we never knew. We live, we always live, civil, in the villages. I don't like to use the word society and community and stuff. That's foreign. You know what I'm saying? We didn't really know. We live in a village. Where was one. You know what I'm saying? And
well, see, let me say something here and just tell me what you think. I'm reading here that a well-known black TV show host says that the Fox show Empire shows the worst of black people. So have you seen that show? I mean, I've never seen it, but
the worst of that's the very same topic we're just touching on. You know what I'm saying? The worst of we always try to we view things from how we think other people viewing us. We're always concerned with other people's perception of us. You know what I mean? And so we approach everything with an apology and an apologia. You know what I mean? Because we want to be accepted. You know what I mean? So we never apply determination. Will. There's always this criticism for any any art form that we come up with. You know what I'm saying? That expresses us. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
If you don't think you don't like it, don't watch it. You know what I'm saying?
I haven't seen it.
It's to me, we're talking about formats that there's no shows that is employing black actors. Now we have a show that's giving a lot of black actors. I'm saying
exactly. We have it right here. We have it right here.
We have a problem. Like I don't watch TV program. And I probably won't watch Empire if I used to watch TV program.
Neither am I.
We could claim that it brings out the worst in black people. You know what I'm saying?
So don't watch it. Simple as that.
And then, every race, every nation have the worst. You know what I'm saying?
Something.
If you go look at it from the angle and the point of view, you know what I'm saying? To me, you know what I'm saying? I don't have that perception. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I try to kill that perception of seeing the worst of black people. I think that's what's killing us. Everybody sees the worst of black people. You know what I mean? And nobody looks to see the light that we are. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't even think that view is even worth, was even worth the time and the effort that, I try to reconcile it, you know what I'm saying? Justify that, make sense of it, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what's killing us. We the worst of the worst of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
we gotta look at the positive. We gotta look at it half full and look at the glass half full instead of half empty at all times.
If our experience was experienced by the Caucasian race, we would have a whole totally different story. You know what I'm saying?
To tell.
Caucasians would have used that experience as like, hey, heaven is white. You know what I mean? God is white. If you can't, you know what I mean? That's proven. Look, only angels, you know what I mean? You do what we did, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Achieve what we achieve under the circumstances, you know what I mean? It would have been a whole different story.
Yes.
So, I don't think, you know what I mean, I'm doing anything because I have to contradict a story, you know what I mean? I'm talking about something that's historical fact. You know what I'm saying? That is the truth, you know what I'm saying? So the perception is what's killing us. You know what I'm saying? The perception has nothing to do with truth. It has nothing to do with historical fact. You know what I'm saying? But it fuels a passion. And as human beings, you know, we give a lot of credence to passion because, you know what I mean? That's the Greek word, like the European word again. You know what I mean? Passion. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Things is not, you know what I mean, by justice, rights. You know what I mean? Truths are, you know what I mean? The feasibility. You know what I mean? The benefit it can provide to the whole. You know what I mean? It's just, you know what I mean? Emotions, you know what I mean? So,
and for a few select few to live off the well after the mass of the people.
You know what we need to do, you know what I mean, is we need to start, you know what I mean, highlighting and promoting black contributions. You know what I mean?
And we got the books. We have this. Matter of fact,
From the days of the plantation, you know what I'm saying? You know. We always talk about
hundreds, thousands,
reparations, you know,
thousands
what I mean?
of contributions,
and you know what I mean, and you know, they didn't pay us, you know what I mean. Where the way people was gonna get money from to pay us? We were the economy.
Exactly.
We were the labor force. We the economy. You know what I'm saying? If we was not, and you know what I mean, providing the skill and the labor, they wouldn't have nothing. So where was they going to get the money from to pay us? You know what I'm saying? They didn't have it. You know what I'm saying? We need to really, revisit this, you know what I mean, and realize, you know, of who we read, and when we really revisit it and put it, you know what I mean, into our own context, we're going to realize who we really are.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And we don't really need, you know what I mean, what we think we need from it. You know, I believe in reparations, but I don't believe in it in how, you know what I mean, how it's being presented. I don't believe it's ever going to be achieved in the way it's being presented.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because there's no precedent for slaves ever being reparated. There's no precedent for slaves ever being receiving reparations. There's none.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
you have to go about it.
We have to know, you know what I mean?
Recreate the whole thing.
Not recreate. We have to bring to light of who we are, our creative reality, you know what I mean, of who we really are, you know what I'm saying, of what our contributions really were,
right?
You know what I'm saying,
and still are,
you know, not, you know,
still is.
not the label that they placed on us, because the label they placed on us, you know what I mean, will never achieve anything coming from a slave, from a point of being a slave, because, like I said, check out the word slave, you know what I mean, take away, you know what I mean, the romanticism that we placed in it, because it's an experience we adapted. And ask yourself if you would, that was something you would apply to your child. You would like your child to, you know, just say, well, I was once a slave, you know what I mean? Or you would like to apply to your child, yourself, or any of, you know, any human being, you know what I'm saying? So on that note, instead of me going on and on and on, you know what I mean? Time for the show to come to a close. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, because that's something, you know what I mean? Like I said, you know,
go on, yes,
yeah,
for sure, we know that.
It's killing us.
Yeah, man.
The alternative, the perception for right now is killing us, bro. You know what I mean? It's the reason why we're being shut down. You know what I mean? It's why we can't see who we really are. You know what I'm saying? Because what can a slave achieve? What can a slave aspire to? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I.
Yeah, Wasai. Yeah, man.
Pleasure.
It's always a pleasure, man. As Soup said, man. So did you do the poem?
No.
You didn't do the poem?
I'm gonna do it now.
Do the poem right now. Yeah, man. I guess we got caught up in the excitement.
Let me say I'm a media hack. Why got a poem I like to say before Soup
Yeah, go. Blaze the fire.
This is an old poem I had that came up with one time.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Here, let me
get a dub beat.
Let me get.
We need a beat.
Huh?
It's a good. Do your thing. You're the engineer.
I'm the.
You know, like to say, engineer and the host.
And the host here. I just want to play this song here. This is another instrumental hip hop here. I don't know. It's a little slower, but I like it. You know. So you want music or you just want no music?
Yeah. Leave that. That's good right there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. There was a time we used to change time, but times change. Times now changes us. World be free, it seems no more. We're more enslaved now than we even were before. We fought to free the shackles from our hands, the shackles from our feet. At this time, we fight to free the shackles from our minds, only to wake up and realize we have been shackled to the hands of time. Peace.
That's it right there, man.
Yes, I bless.
You know, they're having a poetry slam coming up here soon, man. I think I forget her name is pushing that thing there.
If trying to suggest, I don't even call that poetry. That's just a little rhyme.
That's a little rhyme to the beat. Soup, you ready, man?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Bless that mic, man.
Rastafari lives. The greatest secret in life is that reality is nothing more than illusion. The physical world does not exist outside of our own belief system and the filter of our own mind. We are, in fact, subparticles of Jah experiencing creation itself. But as subparticles of Jah, we have swayed over this creation. Everything you have experienced in life, every event, occurrence, object, and person, is nothing more than a figment of your own thoughts, beliefs, and words. The problem is, most of us are still asleep. The problem is, most of us are still asleep. When you understand this, your entire world shifts, and you come to realize the true meaning of life is thus like a lucid dream. We have total control.
Yes, sir, Soup. That's the It's Your Perspective poem.
Yes, sir.
We had many guests tonight. I guess we'll just do it in reverse order. We had many guests tonight. Wasai was here. Big Disco is still here over there. Joanna Samuel from Add a Touch
Boutique and Sunny Isles.
Minnie Mall, she was here.
Yeah.
She's gone. Thanks for coming through and spending some time with us
Big
on.
up, Joanna, you represented.
Huh?
I said Joanna definitely represented.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
man.
yes,
Yeah, she's as I like to say, entertaining. You know. So I'll leave it at that, man. But I want to give a shout out to Miss St. Croix.
Yes, sir.
She won the 2 tickets to go to Taste of St. Croix. Coming up next week, Thursday, April 16th, I believe it is. Thank you. You know, she was able to answer the question. She got all 3 names. Took her, you know, some maneuvering, but she got them. Still a little amazed that she was able to actually still remember them, but she did answer the question, so we'll leave it at that. Soup, any final words? We do have a show tomorrow night. Donna, that was here before. She's coming tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
With I think it's the American Cancer Society.
Yeah, man.
She got some announcements and some other things she want to talk about. So we'll be blazing it up.
Yes, sir, for sure.
1 year and 1 day.
1 year.
1 day, blazing it up still.
Give thanks to the Almighty Creator, Kidama Win Price last night the first to make this happen and possible. Brethren, Rastafari.
Yes, sir.
Lives and
Rastafari
reigns. Yes,
lives
sir.
and reigns for sure, man.
Wasai, Disco, Joanna and everybody else that been through these doors, you know what I mean? It's just enough love and
yeah, everybody,
we always-
all our guests.
I was reaching out to anybody that's have want to say something about whatever you're doing, whatever you got to say. Just give us a call 340-201-9005.
Yeah, you can call us, or you can even send us an email.
Or text us, you know.
Yeah, just email.
StreamingLive.vi.com.
Yeah, the best thing to do really that seems to be working is we go on the website streaminglive.vi.com, and you just there's like a form you can fill out.
Right.
And just put in your questions and your name and all that stuff, and I'll get it, and then I'll just link you back, and we'll just put you on the schedule, and that's how it goes. You know, that's how it's been going since we started. Just put you on the schedule from
Yes,
day one. We
sir.
just gotta put
For
you
sure.
on the schedule. You know,
For
schedule
sure.
is key to how we do this thing. You know,
Yes, sir.
you have to get on the schedule, or you just not on the schedule.
Right.
You know, so we're gonna leave it at that, Soup, man.
Yes, sir.
We're just gonna continue blazing it up. We have to execute some things ourselves here, and we'll just leave it at that. You know.
Rastafari lives. One perfect love.
Yeah, we like to say one perfect love is our prayers and his blessings. When you put it all together, you get one perfect love, man. Thank you. And to all our
Thank
fans
you. Yes, sir.
all over the world, no matter where you are right
Yes,
now,
sir,
you're hearing
for
us. Just continue to support us. You know, we're just having some fun, and we'll just see where it goes, you know. But this
sure.
is about the people.
Yes, sir.
Definitely about the people coming on here and just sharing what they've been doing in all walks of life. Just come on here and share, and maybe you'll be able to help somebody along the way, you know. On that note, we're out. Peace.
Yes, brethren.